Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are making a beehive and a little honeybee or honey jar, I guess you would call it. Here's some of the ingredients. Here's some of the things we're going to be using for our beehive. Now, I didn't really know what I was going to use to make this, and I just knew it needed to be larger at the bottom and skinnier at the top. And I had this egg from Easter that was not used, and I thought it would be the perfect item, and it was. So we're going to start out with some of this Dollar Tree rope, jute rope, I think it's called. And I start down at the bottom. That little board I was going to put at the bottom of this and put like some moss. And then I was like, scratch that. It was just too much. And I thought it looked just adorable the way it was. So, I start by, you're going to see how I roll this all the way around. Now there's a little part in the middle of that is not covered. If you want to color it in or stick a little piece of it down in there, that's completely fine, but you can't see it, so I didn't worry about it. It took 6 rolls of this to completely cover it, and I grabbed 3 at first and then went back and I only grabbed like 2, and then I was like, no, let me grab 4. And I'm so glad I did, because I had just enough. I needed 6 of them, and that's exactly what it took for me to make this little beehive. It's actually not little, it's actually quite large and quite adorable. So we go ahead all the way around this, and you're gonna I enjoy doing it upside down. That way, as I glued it, I could push it like up, and that way you wouldn't see through it and it would be like really tight. And you can do it like this also. I also, in one of the clips, I don't think I showed you, but if it was going to end in the front, I clipped it in the back. That way the beginning and ends always either start on the side or in the back, which I think the only time it started in the back was at the bottom. But I go ahead and I just literally just keep pushing it down and gluing it and attaching. I didn't even take the plastic, like you'll see when you buy those, there's like little pieces of plastic. If you look at the table end piece, it's kind of shiny, and it's like a piece of tape wrapped around the end. I just left it. I wasn't really concerned about it, and you don't even notice it once it's done. So how cute is that? So once you get to the top, you're going to want to make the loop that is at the top of it. Now, I don't know why the loop is made. I just seen everybody else make them with loops, so I made it with a loop also. I guess it's to hang, which I will not be hanging this. I'm not quite sure what I'll do with this, but I do want to let you guys know that this is one of 2 bee videos. There was actually some smaller items that I had started, but I wanted to finish those and put them all together and just add this one and the little honey pot together. And that is what it looks like, completely wrapped. You would not even know that it was an egg, and it is perfectly shaped all the way around. I freaking love it. So if you guys have any of those eggs left over from Dollar Tree, you definitely have an idea to use them. Or if you haven't got any, you definitely can use anything to make this. Now we're going to use some of that ribbon that I had gotten from Amazon. You guys, this stuff is stiff. Like, it was not easy to maneuver at all, but I went with it. And you can tell kind of when I'm using it, it's really, really stiff. Like, that is the stiffest wired ribbon I've ever used in my life, but it worked fine and it looks really cute. You guys, I really didn't know what I was going to do at the top of it. I was thinking of doing the sunflower, and then I was like, I don't want to do something too big. I do want to do a bow because I'm me and everything has to have a bow, but I didn't really know exactly what I was going to use for the top of it. I mean, my whole desk is a hot mess from trying and pulling things, and I don't know why I made it so hard on myself, because the end result is absolutely adorable. But so I just do my bow and I fluffed it and crinkled the bottoms, and then I was like, you know what, I want some greenery on this, but I didn't want like fern or boxwood. And I had some of these from, I don't know, I think sunflowers. You guys know I'm like Sanford & Son, I save everything. So they were in my stash, and so I just cut the ends off them to make them a little shorter, and I stuck them in. And I also attached them, because if you see, they kind of fall backwards. I do stick them in and then attach a few of the pieces or like the middle of it to the ribbon in the back so that it stands forward. Then we take a little honeybee comb stick or whatever it's called, and I just used that for the center of that bow, and it was absolutely perfect. It literally tied it all together, and I'm so shocked and so excited how this turned out. It turned out absolutely adorable. So with the 6 jute rolls that I used, I didn't have any more, so I grabbed my thinner one, which was actually really cute. It's a different size, so it's definitely much smaller, and I just used that for the middle. And a little tip for when you're cutting this stuff, when you cut it, it kind of frays. Well, if you take some glue and stick it down in between the rope and just twist it, it'll twist right back together and you won't even notice that it was frayed at all. And so that is like my little trick for any kind of string or ribbon like that, or jute twine. These little buttons I got from Walmart. They're so cute. And I also got like little daisy flowers because that's what's on the ribbon also. And so I just kind of stuck a few on here, and I didn't want to do too much because I really like the simplicity of just like the bow and the greenery. But I did want to add a few of the little flowers around the top part of like the whole. And once I did that, I just felt like it was like really finished. So I just added those, and then you guys, this was like the easiest honeybee. You guys know this is not my jam. This isn't my style, but I really wanted to take my hand at it, and it was perfect. It was so easy, and here is our end result. All right, guys, on to our second DIY, and I'm taking this little candy jar. They are a 2-pack at Dollar Tree. I actually used this at, I don't know, I think Christmas time or something, because it already had ribbon on it, but I knew it would be the perfect little honey pot to go with our beehive. So I go ahead and I add the paint inside, and I just swirl it all around until I feel like it's got a good consistency and there's enough in there and it's covered. And once it is, I actually just left that ribbon on it. I just start glooping a bunch of glue, and I want to make sure that our little honeycomb sticks down in there and it dries well around it. I add glue all over it just because I'm going to add some paint to that. And then you guys will see that it'll start running off the edges, and then I kind of add more to that. So you'll see in a second that it kind of like falls over, but I don't want it to just be in a big circle. So then I stop and I kind of just add it in points and push a ton of glue out at that point and let it run over, as I still hold the little honeycomb stirrer, that way it doesn't fall, but at some point it was fine. And so here we go. Here we just take a lot of glue at this point, so it will feed off of that, and I just make them longer so it looks like the honey is running down the pot. Y'all, this is the cutest little thing ever. You guys know, like I say, if you enjoy things like this, you can definitely make them to your style with your colors, your envisions, whatever suits your fancy is what you guys can do for yours. I am not big into bees, so I just kind of went with it. I was actually very puzzled doing these DIYs, but I think you guys are going to love the next ones just as much as these ones. So I take some of my inspired Rae Dunn letters and I just add the word honey to the front of this. I was kind of mad I couldn't do the second N like backwards like Winnie the Pooh. but that's okay. So I go ahead and I add these on here. And if you guys enjoy videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. I love sharing my ideas with you and giving you guys inspiration for you to make your own DIYs. And if you enjoy that, I would love for you to stick around and join the JennyLeigh family. So we're going to go ahead and just fix these letters on here. You guys know I'm completely OCD about this kind of stuff, and at some point I have to walk away, but I have to do it after I feel like I've messed with it enough. But it is so stinking cute. This little honey pot turns out so cute, and you could totally leave the glue just like it is, but I did want to paint it. So I did go ahead and grab some ribbon. I'm gonna make a small bow for the top of the pot, and I just used my fingers to make this small little bow. Make sure if the ribbon is one-sided, which means that the print is only on one side, make sure you twist it as you come back so that the front of your bow has the design on it, or the bow in general has a design on front and back, and it's not, you know, white on one side and the pattern on the other. So once I go ahead and I get my bow fluffed, I fluffed this bow for probably 20 minutes. Sometimes you'll see me also take a pinch of glue and where the tails are, sometimes they stick too far apart, and sometimes I just like to take a little tad of glue and glue them together so that they kind of form and come down together. So that's what I'm doing here, so that they're not so far apart from each other, and it just looks more, you know, put together, and they aren't all over the place. Now we are going to take Waverly Maze, and we are going to paint this, and we are going to paint it twice. And then after I go ahead and get this painted twice, I do add my folk art gold to it to just give it another little pop of color and some shine. I did forget to add the bow video ring it, so I do apologize, but this is the end of our video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Here are some shots of the end product. Please let me know down in the comments what you think about these, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.